I'm definitely interested in how Azaltath wins from here, with Midnight being sort of darker middle expansion. We're all assuming it's going to be the darker expansion. I want to make it clear, Blizz have never said it's going to be the darker expansion. Apart from the fact it's going to be voidy, right? So, like, literally dark, yeah. But I think everyone's assuming that it's going to be dark as in, like, The Empire Strikes Back. I'm not saying it won't be, but also that is literally something that we've just invented in the community. That is not something they have said. I think it's probably quite important to bear that in mind. I'm not saying it won't be. Wait, Metzen said it's the one where we lose hard. Did he? Are you sure? What, in the latest Metzen interview? I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes going through this, and it's going to be something like him saying, maybe we'll lose hard. If I spend 20 minutes going through this, and it turns out that he says, and of course, we don't always win all the time, then I'm banning you. All of you. Literally all of you motherfuckers. Literally everyone in this chat right now. If I go through this fucking thing, and what he actually said was, and we don't always win, don't forget that, then I'm literally banning everyone in this fucking chat right now. Because fuck you, that's why. I mean, would he right out say we lose? Apparently, Georgie, yes. Apparently, he fucking did. And I just don't remember. So we'll find out, I guess. And look, man, I am so happy to eat fucking shit if I'm wrong. Don't get me wrong. The great thing about me is, and probably my strongest, characteristic, is that I just love the taste of shit. I'll eat shit all day long. I don't give a shit. Nom, 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 nom. Give me that shit. I'll eat it all up. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, wait, what's this? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Right. So is it when he was talking about Midnight? Let's have a look. We'll watch the entire fucking thing, and then I'm going to ban everyone in this fucking chat. Here we go.
The second part of the World Soul Saga is called World of Warcraft Midnight. In this chapter, you will be returning, ready, to the old world.
I love his WWF thing.
To the fabled lands of Quell Thalas. There, the forces of the Void have invaded Azeroth, intent on snuffing out the light of the Sunwell and plunging the world into darkness and fear. You will not only help reunify the scattered elven tribes of Azeroth, but you will make your stand with the forces of the light and banish the shadow forever. Of course, BlizzCon, it is Azeroth. Things may not go to plan. Things may just spiral wildly out of control.
I would like to repeat my initial statement. This idea that Midnight is the dark, mature chapter where we lose is something that the community has completely made up. We've just made it up, which is fine to make assumptions like that, but just be aware of when the community just decides something, like we have decided this, because you're not the only person that's going to say this. People are going to say, when Midnight comes out, people are going to be like, they said this was the dark, mature chapter where we all lose. They said that. They said it. No, they didn't. We said that, and we've decided that's true. And you know what? Sometimes that's enough. Yeah, I did ban everyone, but then I decided to be like Asman and unban everyone again, because I didn't like having no one in my chat. But it's true. Like, we have made this up. We've completely made it up. We have, like, just decided and put words in their mouths that this is going to be a, like, more mature middle chapter where we will lose. And no one has said that, least of all Chris Metzen. I think you'll agree he pretty much said the opposite of that. But I agree. I think you know, thinking about it with my player head on, which I love player head, is I think it's probably likely that it will be the things you describe, but I think it's very important to bear in mind that Blizz never ever said it would be. He said things are going to spiral out of control. Yeah, he did. But like, he implied that happens in every expansion. He said, remember, this is Azeroth. I mean, do you want me to play it again?
Of course, BlizzCon, it is Azeroth. Things may not go to plan. Things may just spiral wildly out of control.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to read that as him saying that we'll lose, I think that's perfectly valid. You know, if you want to say what I got from, I get the distinct feeling from what Chris Metzen said at BlizzCon that we're going to lose in Midnight. Nothing wrong with saying that. That is a completely valid sentence. What is not valid is saying Metzen said we would lose. Because you've already seen it. You've already seen it in this chat. There are many people in this chat, there are many people in the community who genuinely 100% think Chris Metzen said like Midnight is the dark, mature middle chapter. It's like Empire Strikes Back and we're going to lose. There are people who literally think he said that. He did not. And I just think it's good to bear that in mind. So how the fuck do I accept myself that? I don't know. Like that whole like things might not go to plan, things might spiral out of control is literally just book blurb, right? It's like what you put on the back of anything. It's like Tali was a brave hero who decided to go and rescue the princess Evertal and then bang her and like live happily ever after. All he had to do was kill the big dragon. But of course, things might not go entirely according to plan. Doesn't mean he's not going to beat the dragon. Just means like there's actually a story here as well, right? Like that's just like what, or will they? Well, yes, often they do, yes. Like just saying or will they or it might not go to plan doesn't mean that you're going to lose. Right? Like the plan is to go and do the thing and fuck off back home in time for tea, but luckily that never really happens. Luckily nothing ever goes to plan. I straight up think it's just a repeated community idea that I've picked up and assumed 100%. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like you're bad or evil or stupid, or I'm just saying like the community has decided that this is a fact. And so, and you know what? I think the community might be right, I hasten to add. Like, I think the community probably is right. I think there's a very strong chance that it is a more mature second chapter and that we do lose at the end, right? I think that's very likely. But what we shouldn't do is say that Chris Metzen said that, because he didn't. Anyway, it was very hard work banning you all and then unbanning you all again. I hope you appreciate the effort that I put in. I hope that's okay. Yeah. And I knew it was going to be something like that. When you motherfucker, I can't even remember anyone's name who said it, right? But, when you motherfuckers said, no, he said it in BlizzCon, I was like, I know it's going to be something like, but it doesn't go according to plan. Or, but maybe we'll, like, I knew it was going to fucking be something like that because I know how this community works. I just want to hear what he says about Last Titan. What he says about Last Titan is very interesting. So, yes, okay.
BlizzCon, it is Azeroth. World of Warcraft, the last Titan. In this chapter, you will again be returning to the old world, this time to the wintry lands of Northrend. And there, at Ulduar, you will bear witness to the return of the Titans to Azeroth. And there, you will uncover a vast conspiracy, one that stretches throughout the history of the world, one that will challenge everything you think you know about the Titans, their intentions, and the true nature of Azeroth itself.
So, Kitty Streets, I loved that interview. I think it's really good. And I was just about to touch on it now because one of the most interesting things about that interview was when he said, how far in development all of these expansions already were when he got there. Like, you know, in many ways, the War Within was pretty much done when he arrived. And like, it's certainly in terms of concept and like zone concept and basic thrust of the opening and stuff like that, Midnight was already in development when he got there. It's very likely that Last Titan was in the early stages of development as well. And it's interesting how he, you know, this isn't to like make Chris Metzen feel worse or better. It's just like stating fact. It's interesting to me that he didn't get there and go, yo, we're going to do a World Soul Saga. How do we start it? He was like, he got there, he saw what was in production, and he was like, oh, what we should really do is make this a World Soul Saga. And I will always wonder forever, and I'll never find out, you know, how much had to be bent into place, how much had to be changed, how much had to be like, you know, added to make it the World Soul Saga, Chris's World Soul Saga, or how much was already there. Because the Arathi would have been already there. I find it like impossible to believe that the Arathi weren't already a thing in War Within development at that stage when Chris Metzen arrived. But maybe they weren't. Maybe the Haranir weren't. It's like, I'll never, ever know. Some dev might tell me, but it'll still only ever be one dev or two devs telling me. You know? So it's super interesting to me. I'd love to know that. And likewise, I wouldn't mind betting that the War Within was like very far in development by the time he came up with the World Soul Saga thing. That's definite. You know, whatever details have been added to the to the War Within to fit it into the World Soul Saga, I'm not saying there's nothing, but relatively it's kind of minimal. As for Midnight, I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, who knows, but I think it's a pretty sound guess to guess that the settings for Midnight and Last Titan had probably been decided. You know, I've got the feeling that Kel'Thuzad as the setting for Midnight and Northrend as the setting for Last Titan it probably wasn't called Last Titan at that stage. I've got a feeling they were probably both decided at that stage. They were probably past that stage of development, right? I wouldn't mind betting that Midnight was called Midnight, but I wouldn't mind betting that Last Titan was not called Last Titan. Put it that way. This is based on no evidence, by the way, apart from Chris Metzen's interview. I have no insider knowledge on this. I just had a thought. Do you think there will be a World Soul Saga campaign and you have to play the campaigns of the war? Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. Didn't Metzen say in the interview that the team were like 10 months into War Within? Yeah, and that's like everything. You know? That's like all the concept. That's so much. Yeah, it's really interesting. I'd love to, you know, I don't know the exact specifics of how everything works at Blizz, so I'm never, ever going to know. But I'd love to know. And I will wonder about it always. Yeah. I'd love to know, like, how much they had to change to make these 3 expansions into the World Soul Saga, and how much was already there in the beginning. I'm pretty certain. So, okay, here's what I'm pretty certain was there in the beginning. The Dark Heart was already there. I'm certain that Xal'atath being the baddie was already there. I'm certain that leading into a Void invasion in Midnight was already there. You know, all of this stuff we're getting right now, maybe the World Soul stuff, maybe the Radiant Echo stuff is World Soul Saga stuff, but I'm certain that all the Xal'atath stuff, all the Void Attack stuff coming in Midnight, and that concept for that expansion, I'm sure that would have all been in place before. And I don't know if that makes it less or more impressive that Chris decided to kind of mold it into this World Soul Saga. You could argue that the World Soul Saga is essentially packaging as much as anything else, but holy fuck, it is good packaging. Amazing. Love that shit. Do we think Tyrande will be more involved in Midnight than she currently is? Kind of hard not to be, really. They said that Xal'atath being a girl was a change made by quest designers. I mean, it's never a change. She was always a girl. she's always been voiced by the same person since Legion, but I get what you're saying. But yeah, no. What I mean by Xal'atath was already in place is like the idea of Xal'atath being a major force in the expansion. I'm certain that was already in place before Chris Metzen even set foot through the door of Blizzard again. Yeah. But then again, it's all just like, I don't fucking know. I'm just guessing. It's not based on anything. Yeah. Fascinating. Anyway, no, Chris Metzen did not say that Midnight would be the darker second chapter of The War Within where we would lose. Doesn't mean we won't. It just means he didn't say that we would.